There's a level to research that you just have to do. You have to personalize it. You have to know who the hiring manager is and kind of give them a reason why you actually just legitimately want to have a conversation with no strings attached. You can even preface this in the email when you're reaching out as like, I know you can tell I am a recruiter. I'm genuinely not trying to sell. I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on in the industry. I just want to have a chat with you. I promise I'm not going to mention anything about hiring. I'm not going to pitch anything, and then stick to that promise so that you can build trust.
Initiating becoming a hiring machine sequence in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, it's Sam Keenly. Welcome back to Becoming a Hiring Machine. This is the show dedicated to fixing recruitment by going beyond saying what needs to change and instead teaches you how to make that change. Today, we have a great Tactical Tuesday episode ahead of us, but before we get into that, I want to tell you a little bit about the show. Essentially, we have shows within the show here. Some days we have interviews with industry thought leaders and others who are shaking up the space, while other days we cover things like trending topics. Stop by every Tuesday like today for a Tactical Tuesday episode where we go deep on how to do something that's going to help you drive better results in your day-to-day. And occasionally you get a mic drop episode from Matt where he shares something that he's been thinking about within the recruitment space and wants you to know. Now, as a reminder, if you like the content that we share here on the show, make sure that you subscribe for more. All right, if you have not yet, please make sure that you go and listen into the episode we just released right before this one that featured Will Spangler, because today's Tactical Tuesday is going to build off of one of the items that he and Vivien discussed, which is old school sales, aka relationships. So what it looks like, how do you incorporate it into your day-to-day, and a few tips sprinkled in here to chat through these is your favorite Tactical Tuesday co-host, Vivien. Viv, welcome / part 2, since you hosted that episode with Will too. You're just carrying it right along.
Yeah, I'm back, guys.
We'll take it. So yeah, old school selling came up in your conversation. Tell me a little bit, like, I don't know, 30-second TLDR on what you guys covered and what you want to get into with this tactical session today.
Yeah, so the topic was all things email deliverability. What the heck happened to it in the last couple of years, and why did it change? What happened to the golden age of just bulk emailing, and why did it happen? What caused it? All that fun stuff. So we talk about all that, plus how to actually turn things around with email deliverability. And so there's obviously like the technical components to it, but there's also your approach. And so basically what ended up happening, emailing and automating that became so easy that everybody started doing it. And anytime that you have too many people doing one thing, there's going to be pushback. It's going to be less effective. So you have to pivot a little bit. So when everybody zigs, you got to zag, is in the words of Will Spangler. And one of the zags that he talked about is you have to actually build relationships. You can't just send an email and get business. That used to be the thing during the golden age of emailing, which was about like 2020, because everybody moved over to email. Everybody was virtual and nobody wanted to meet. Nobody wanted to have any kind of like relationship and nurturing. It just was a very different world. And that's where all of that, and people were just more open to it. But now everybody's getting back into the office. You have that in-person component, which means you actually have to build relationships. And so instead of just emailing, you also have to do old school selling, which is networking, building relationships. And that means you have to reach out to people without an agenda, without a goal in mind. It's just really to get together, chat about the industry trends. Nothing that is like committal of like, well, do you have any openings that can help you? Or so you have a job opening and try to like pitch it. You just want to build a relationship so that you naturally become the go-to person, because now that white glove service, that relationship aspect to business development, it's back in style. And you can't do that through email automations.
Mm-hmm. How do you communicate that in a way that doesn't have the recipient being skeptical? Because a lot of us receive emails now that's like, but what do you want out of it? What's on the back end? I know you've kind of got this ulterior motive. So were there any tips that you two discussed or anything that you used to do in your prior experience where you would, whether it was indirectly share that like you don't have an ulterior motive, that you are in it for the relationship? Like, how are you helping them understand that so that they are more comfortable starting that? Because I think that honestly might be one of the biggest hurdles to overcome, is just like getting past that initial kind of like keeping you at arm's length.
There's a level to research that you just have to do. You have to personalize it. You have to know who the hiring manager is and kind of give them a reason why you actually just legitimately want to have a conversation with no strings attached. You can even preface this in the email when you're reaching out as like, I know you can tell I am a recruiter. I'm genuinely not trying to sell. I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on in the industry. I just want to have a chat with you. I promise I'm not going to mention anything about hiring. I'm not going to pitch anything, and then stick to that promise so that you can build trust. There's always going to be some people that don't respond to outreach. It's just part of what it is. It's a funnel. But if you kind of get ahead of it and basically say, I know you're probably expecting me to say I can find the unicorn person for you tomorrow. That's not why I'm here. I just want to have a conversation about what you're seeing in the industry. What are your hiring trends? What is your team up to? What are you hoping to kind of like do? I just want to like touch base about the industry. And like, I promise I'm never going to say anything about hiring unless you bring it up first. Then everything is good to go. And just prefacing that is going to be super helpful. And when you do that, then people might say, you know what, it might actually be really cool to talk to a recruiter. Or if you picked up on some interesting trends from other conversations where you actually started with your network, where you already know your hiring manager. So ideally, you kind of want to start with people you've worked with in the past, and then pick up on some trends and things like that. And then send like nurturing campaigns and just kind of be like, hey, this is the trend that I'm seeing. No hard feelings if you don't want to chat. I would love to actually get your take on this and just do a little bit of like a chitter chatter networking water cooler talk type style, you know?
Okay. So when you're initiating this, I know the topic of your conversation with Will was email deliverability. Are you sticking to just email when you're sending these? Are you, because that's the other side, like if you really do just want a quick relationship, why did you just email me, LinkedIn DM me, call me 3 times, send me a text, WhatsApp me? Like, how are you thinking about multi-channel outreach as part of it? Are you sticking to just one? Are you figuring out which one are they most likely to be receptive to? How do you think about that side of it?
You have to start with the people that you already have a relationship with, because that way you already have a warm in and just kind of be like, hey, haven't talked to you in a while. Promise I'm not going to bother you with like trying to pitch your recruiting services. We've already worked before. If you need anything, I know you're going to come to me. I just want to catch up for a second. I promise I'm not going to pitch anything, and start there. And if they don't take you up on it, no big deal. If it's a warm contact, they will recognize your email in the inbox. They're going to most likely open it. And so you really shouldn't be doing a whole lot of omni-channel outreach because you already have a relationship with them. Now, as you're having these conversations towards the end of that phone call, in-person meeting, or video call, you can ask, is there anybody else that you suggest I should talk to just for networking purposes? I promise I'm not going to bother them. I just want to better understand what's going on. If you have anybody that you feel like I should talk to, let me know. Happy to chat with them. I'm always wanting to learn. And that's all it is. And then you have a kind of like introduction. You have a reference. You can be like, hey, Sam Keenly from Loxo told me I should talk to you about XYZ. You would have really great insights. I would love to grab some time with you. I promise I'm not going to pitch any recruiting services, and then see what happens and where it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the important, simple, but not.
Relationships.
Yeah. It's all based off that. Like you said, it's just, it's leveraging existing ones, network effects, all of it. So some of the things that I don't know, we all know innately, but we're just like, oh, it's not shiny enough for us right now. I'm going to go try this thing. And then you realize, like, oh, I have to come back to this. Who knew shiny thing? I have to come back to this. So like you said, relationships are the center of it all. So this was I know sometimes we get very philosophical. I know sometimes we come back to the core fundamental things. So I'm glad that we were able to reground ourselves in this one. So yes, if you haven't yet, make sure that you go back to listen to the episode with Will. We've got this episode, and then next Tactical Tuesday coming out is also going to be another follow-up from something else that Vivien and Will touched on in there that we're going to go deeper on. So stay tuned for that one next Tuesday. All right, Viv. Well, as always, I appreciate you coming to share this. You're slowly becoming our podcast queen. Might be taking my spot before long as the host, which, hey, I'd love it. But anyway, as we wrap, Becoming a Hiring Machine is a production of Loxo. If you like this episode, but you're not sure where to go next, we do have a link to a similar one, and you can find that within the show notes of the description of your favorite podcast streaming platform, as well as on our website. Full video episodes are available on YouTube. If you have questions, send them our way, podcast@loxo.co. And lastly, if you love this episode, please make sure to leave us a quick rating in your podcast streaming platform. It takes you 3 seconds, but it's going to help other recruiters like you to find us. So, all right, everyone, that's the show. That was another great Tactical Tuesday with Vivien. Until next time, bye, y'all.